Good morning everyone. It is the 7th of May and here are the 33 trees that I grafted in February, end of January, early February of this year. A little early perhaps, but as you can see we've got a really great result. It looks as though I've lost 2 trees of those 33, so that's a very, very high success percentage, which for the first year of doing this I'm very, very pleased with. This is part 3 of my springtime follow-up of what to do next in the grafting process. And today really is all about cutting out any unnecessary growth at the bottom of the grafts that we've done. This here is one of the Ben's Reds that I featured in the part 2 video. You'll recall, if you've been watching, that I was concerned about the progression of these particular trees. But that it would appear that these were just a bit of a slower developer versus some of the others. And you can see now at the top of this tree, and if you remember this was an extremely long scion, far too long really, but amazingly the sap has risen right the way to the top. The cambium's obviously been flowing in the join down here, and we have a viable tree, and we've got 3 really nice healthy shoots pushing out at the top of this extremely long scion. I don't recommend you use a scion that long. Go for something much shorter. As I said in my last video, I'm learning this as I go. But what you can see now, if you recall, I'd said that I was going to leave this shoot in case the scion failed and that I needed a healthy rootstock to graft onto next year. This is an MM111 rootstock. Now that we've got this level of viability at the top, I'm actually going to remove this particular shoot from here at the bottom, and I'll just nip that off with my my trusty knife. Let's go down so I don't lose a thumb. It's not easy doing this when you're videoing yourself. Take that off, so that shoot can go. What I'll do is I'll come back and I'll tidy this up. That's not a great cut. There we go, that's better. Just take that bud out. And now all the tree's energy will be put into this join. This is a whip and tongue graft we've done on the side here. It's going to need a little bit more time to do what it needs to do in terms of sealing up properly. But at the top we obviously have these lovely shoots, so that's fine. Another Ben's Red that I featured in the last video, I said this one was probably 50-50. That video was 10 days to 2 weeks ago now. You can see that we've had 0 progression on the scion here. So this one is dead, sadly. It's one of the 2 that I've lost from this year. You can see the growth coming up from the rootstock is very strong and very healthy. So what I'll actually do is I'll remove this piece of tape now. Just make sure that this root has got the greatest ability it has to really push on without any constriction down at the bottom here. It's fine really because it's in the clear, but what I want to avoid is any unnecessary dieback on the rootstock from this point in. So we'll remove this tape now and possibly remove the scion, maybe cut the top back and see how that works moving forwards. So I will do that in a moment. That's going to be something I need both hands for, and I'll come back and show you how we get on with that. This is one of the Howgate Wonders that I featured. It's the one that had the quite pronounced dieback from the top of the scion down. The 2 or 3 shoots that we had in here have come on very nicely. But what we do have is a couple of rogue shoots down at the bottom end, which again, these are on the primary rootstock. We don't want these, so we'll just nip these off. Another one down here. Lose that one. Okay, so again, all the energy from the tree is now being pushed up into the scion itself. This one was mounted very high, if you remember, on the rootstock, really because I was looking to get parity in the union, but it would appear that actually that doesn't make a huge amount of difference again. recommendation wise, I'd go for a shorter rootstock, as you can see with some of these others behind, because even if you have a very narrow or mismatched scion, that's a lemon pip in there, an extremely old apple variety, it doesn't appear to make any difference to the quality of the end result. So on this Howgate Wonder, again, you can see there's quite a, this is on the rootstock here. So again, we don't want this in here. It's detracting from the development of the actual tree variety that we want, the Howgate Wonder. That's on the rootstock, so we'll lose that. Now I've wrapped that up very, very tightly under there. So again, I'm going to remove that. We'll have a look at what's going on. But given that there's still a lot of joining to do in there, a lot of knitting within that union, we'll retape that. So I'll take this tape off, we'll come back and have a look, see what we have. Okay, I've removed the tape from the Howgate Wonder, and you can see here we've got the makings of quite a nice join. I'm actually going to leave this tape off. I feel as though this tree is probably strong enough to go on without being taped. Again, you can see there's a whip and tongue graft here. It's healing up quite nicely, which I'm pleased about. So I'm just going to leave that exposed. I'm going to leave nature to do its thing. Again, this is all part of experimenting and seeing what happens. All of the others are still nicely wrapped, nicely taped up. I'm beginning to think some of those should come off now. So we'll do this one. We'll see where it gets to. See how it moves on. So I'm actually leaving that as is. The Ben's Red, I've now removed the scion, as I said I would, and that immediately, as you can see, has given these leaves much more opportunity to position themselves where they want to. I've waxed the top there just to stop any moisture and infection getting in and causing any dieback on the rootstock. But there we have a very healthy rootstock ready for next year. So this is now a standard MM111 rootstock. Nothing grafted onto the top. So that will do for next year. So that's all for today. Thanks very much for watching. More to come on this. What I'll actually do is a post-mortem on the scion that we removed from here, the failed graft that we moved from here. We'll get stuck into that, see if there's any telltale signs as to why it didn't succeed. Thanks very much. See you next time.